Aloha, everyone, and welcome to the Hawaii Abroad podcast. I'm your host, Auntie Max, and my intention is to share the voices and stories of Native Hawaiians, also known as Kanaka Maoli, that relocated away from our homeland in Hawaii. I'm here with Mailikapu Heanu. She's an island girl in her mid 40s, originally from Oahu, Hawaii. She lived in Salt Lake and Wahiawa, but mostly raised on the windward side of the island in several different areas of Ko'olaupoko. She's an alumnus of Kalaheo High School, class of 1995, and she's a chief home officer with executive power over her household. I just love that title. Which consists of her handsome husband, Nolan, who's retired from the Army, and 3 beautiful daughters. I'm so excited to share with everyone her journey of how she got to this point in her life as a Native Hawaiian living abroad. Aloha, Maili, and mahalo nui for joining me today.
Aloha, mahalo for having me.
So before I get into asking my questions, I want to give you a chance to share with us your journey on relocating and how you now became a resident of Colorado Springs in Colorado.
Ooh, that's a long one. So my husband's in the military, he's Army. Well, he's retired now, 23 years. So we've actually lived in different states because of that. We went back home, stationed there, and then we came here because they had him report here in 2017. And that's how we ended up in Colorado. But before that, we were in North Carolina and Virginia. And then we went back, when we went back to Hawaii, he was supposed to retire there, but the Army, they changed their mind, so they sent us here. And then once we got here, we were here for a couple of weeks and they put him on the promotion list. So we had to make the decision on if we were gonna go with that and stay or go back home. So we took the promotion and we ended up staying, buying a house, and here we are.
Yeah, so being in the military, it's a norm, just shifting from one place to the other. Yeah, so you've been
Yes.
through a lot of states. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how is all of those places? I mean, just living abroad, it's different as a Kanaka Maoli from living at your homeland. So can you share with us a little bit about that journey, just from shifting from one state to the other as a Kanaka
Oh
compared
yeah.
to
So
Hawaii?
I left Hawaii in 2008 to be with him in North Carolina. We were stationed at Fort Bragg. First time I left the islands ever. And it was a bit of a shock, especially going all the way to the East Coast. Like, there aren't a lot of Hawaiian people there or people from Hawaii, but there are a few. And I got there, total shock. Everything is different. There's no beach, there's no local food, like LNL or auntie down the road, she will make dinner, so she would invite you over. You know, I had to learn a lot, like how to talk. That was like a real first thing. Go to the store and ask them, where's the rice? And the way we talk, they don't understand. They're like,
Yes.
excuse me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. What aisle is the rice? Can you please point me to the Asian section? Like in Hawaii, we don't have that. Oh, cousin, where the rice stay? And they're like, okay, you go this way, go that way. When I got to North Carolina, nobody understood what I said. I had to learn how to speak normal. I had to learn to be out in public without, the the aloha that you feel when you're at home. It's just different, completely different. And then on top of that, there was no other family. My husband has an auntie there that she took us in. She took me in. She would pick me up. We would go to eat lunch. She would show me where all the different places are. Um, what places not to go to. when like when you go to Walmart, don't go after dark. You have to go during the day. Just little things like that. Those little things that you don't think of when you're at home. It took me a little bit, but I got it. And then we moved to Virginia, and same thing. What I also noticed was a lot of people over there, they don't run into too many Hawaiian people. So everybody thought I was like Mexican or Spanish, and then they would start talking to me in Spanish or Mexican, and I'd be like, aloha. And they'd look at me like, huh?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm Hawaiian. I'm sorry. I don't speak your language. I'm Hawaiian. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, Mexican restaurants all the time. They would walk up to the table and they'd be like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." Sorry, I don't speak that.
Yeah. So it's a real change of culture. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just
Very
your
much.
regular day-to-day stuff it was a it was a change that I had to get used to.
Yeah, I believe. I believe. I know, back at home, the way we speak, it doesn't seem like we have an accent, but when you go into other people's area, they just have the hardest time understanding us, and it's like an accent. It's like
Yes,
an accent.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
They just look at you weird, like, what do you mean? Like, what language are you speaking? Because it's not a normal,
exactly.
like, it's not like Spanish or Japanese, or German. Like, if they hear it, they're like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
It's pigeon or whatever
Yeah,
anybody wants to call it, and we understand it, but they don't hear it very often. So they're like, oh, wait a minute, what's happening? The Spanish girl speaks
exactly.
some funny language.
I hear English words, but something's off about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, since we're talking a little bit about the culture, I know, like you said, it's kind of a culture shock.
Mhm.
Being away from home, sometimes some of us Kanaka, we have a hard time perpetuating some of our culture traditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any type of tradition or practice that you guys try to do while you're living abroad?
I think for the most part, it's a lot of well, for me, I always teach my kids, malama aina, malama kupuna, when you see keiki that are younger than you and they need help them, always be respectful. Because in each state we've lived in, we've had aunties and uncles. Like there's always that one or two auntie and uncle that's like our ohana. We pili to them. So, when they call, we go and, oh, okay, auntie need help paint her house. Okay, we're gonna go paint house. So, I tell the kids, this is what we do. When your makua or your kupuna call, you make time and you go and you help them do what they gotta do. Um, because that's what you have to do. I don't know. That's just how I am, how I was raised, and you know, that's your generation before you. You gotta malama them.
Oh my
So
God.
that's what I teach my kids. And then you know, malama da aina. When we go places in Hawaii, you go beach, you go up Mauka, you not take your opala and you leave them up there. You bring it
Exactly.
home. You take one bag with you, you throw your rubbish inside, and you bring it back home with you. So over here, we don't really have beach or like that, but I teach them, when we go outside other places, whether it's someone's house or we're going to a park or we're going hiking in the mountain, throw your rubbish back in your bag. No
My
make any
kai.
kind, no go pee pee any kind place, you respect this place because the natives who lived here before us, this their land, like Hawaii, that's our home. This place is their home, so we gotta respect that.
Yes,
So
yes.
I teach them that kind of stuff, and then we food.
Oh,
Us
yes.
Hawaiians, we love our food, so we make lau lau or poke, all the local food at home, Hawaiian food, fried fish, haupia. Um, we 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 go to the Asian market and try and find whatever we can, whatever's available to you. Um, when we were home last time, we made a papa ku'iai, so we brought that with us. We haven't used it here because we haven't really found a kalo, that we can pa'i. So, but we do that, and we have our tools here with us. Um, and we try to share those kinds of things with the other Hawaiians, and here in Colorado, there's a lot of musicians. They have ho'olaulea. They try to do a lot of that sharing kind of thing with everybody. So we try to participate as much as we can.
Wow, my kai.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're trying to perpetuate the values, the aloha spirit,
Yeah.
the sharing the food. Oh, that's the bomb, that part in there.
Right.
So yeah, and it's awesome to hear that when you guys come back home, you try to do some kind of traditional
Yeah.
practice and just doing a papa kui'ai, man. Oh, that's big time. Nice. So
Yes.
that's a great experience for the keiki, yeah?
It is. They when we were back home, we made the papaku'iai. There was a class that we had up in Papakolea. So my husband, myself, and my two girls, we all had a hand in making it. We even our pohaku. We have a couple pohaku that my husband made, and I was papai with the little one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, like we all participated in making it. And we used it there. We didn't really use it here because like I said, we didn't find a kalo
I,
that we
I.
liked. So, but we brought it anyway.
No, that's my kai because you guys all had a part in putting the mana
Hmm.
into that item,
Yeah,
yeah. So my
yeah. And I
kai,
tell my
no.
girls that when mom and dad not here, this is ours. Like this gonna go to you guys. Now you guys know. You guys can make your own, but this is what started it. So now you can take it, and it'll stay with the family through the generations.
My kai. Yes, yes. That's awesome. Glad to hear that, Maili.
Yeah.
So, really being in the military, it sounds to me like um you're hoping this to be temporary or permanent, relocating. Do you guys plan on relocating back home one day or?
Yes. So we when we got here, we were only supposed to be here for about a year and a half because he was retiring. When before here we were back home in Hawaii and he was supposed to retire there, but the army had other plans and sent him orders to come here. So we went through a whole discussion about if he was going to come to Colorado and me and the girls stay in Hawaii. But we really didn't want to separate our family because, that's hard,
Yes.
especially for girls so young, so we just decided we all gonna come. We'll stay with dad. And when he retires, we all come home. Once we got here, they put him on the promotion list. So that was a whole nother conversation that we had to have. And I mean, the benefits weighed out for us to stay. It was better for us to stay. So we did, and we bought a home. And then so we decided like we'd stay here for like 10 years, maybe till the girls graduate high school and go to college. Well, he graduated. He retired in June. Now he's a CEO at the federal prison, but you know, the the sons of the birth, you know, they poo at the heart, yeah. So we're going home now. We change our mind. We're going home now.
Yay. That's right. It does
Yeah,
poo, you know. You
yeah,
can take the Kanaka out of the island, but you cannot take the island out of the Kanaka, right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Oh
So
my God. So
that's
you
why
guys are going back home.
we're going back home. We're in the middle of making arrangements and getting rid of stuff, packing up some stuff, all that kind of moving mail you gotta do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that's a lot of work. I've been through that before.
Yeah.
so so yeah, well, that's interesting because a lot of the Kanaka that I speak to, those that is living abroad, their challenge is economy. Hawaii's economy has gotten so high that that was the reason why they left. But yours is a different situation. So you're in the military, your husband is in the military, and now it's nice to see that you your ohana is able to move back home. Yeah, but do you have any concerns about
Yeah,
the economy because of the changes that it's been going through in Hawaii?
I do. I worry about, how more expensive it is than where we are. Because in Colorado's a little expensive, the cost of living and stuff like that. And because of all the bases that are around Colorado Springs,
Hmm.
there's so much military. So like in Hawaii, everything starts going up, which is what's happening here. But in Hawaii, they're just a little further ahead of that. So I worry about, the cost of living. Thankfully, we live on Hawaiian homeland. So that's been in
Nice.
his family for generations. So, we don't have to worry about that part. We just, pay our regular utility bills, property tax, that kind of thing, which, it helps. Um, Food like that, I know it's more expensive over here. I mean, over there. But I think, my husband, he always tells me, yeah, but babe, we're gonna be all right, because we're at a point where, because of his military career, our financial status is good. You know, we don't really have to worry, but I'm a mom, you know, I take care of everybody. So I worry. I always worry.
Yep, that's what us moms do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's great news to hear that your ohana is going to be moving back
Yes.
home, my ka'i. And yeah, being able to
Yes.
live in
Uh,
homestead, that's a huge one. That's a huge one that'll help because just the
yeah.
housing alone, that cost alone,
Yeah.
can be challenging for a lot of people, especially our Kanaka. But I'm
Yeah.
so happy to hear that you guys have that opportunity. So, my ka'i.
Yeah. It's great. Thank you, government, for, him giving his service, and now you're helping us as a family too.
Yes, yes. So, I want to continue our conversation and share with you some data statistics I researched and get some feedback from you. Based on some of my recent research on this topic, Native Hawaiian population of Hawaii has decreased tremendously. Native Hawaiians seem to be migrating away from their homeland of Hawaii. According to the U.S. Census report, which they just did in 2020, which they do every 10 years, yeah? When you compare the numbers from 2010 and 2020, within that short 10-year span, Native Hawaiians decreased 50%. And really, when you look at the overall number, the percentage of Hawaiian Pacific Islanders in Hawaii is only 11% of the whole population in Hawaii. Okay. So I know there was a lot of numbers that was thrown at you, yeah, Maili. But I just wanted to know your reaction. So what do you think about those statistics and what's happening to our people back at home?
I, I I was like, wow. But at the same time, I wasn't really surprised. because I mean, because my husband's military, we've moved all over the place. So I've met quite a few Hawaiian people and talked to them about, why their ohana are leaving or their friends are leaving Hawaii. And, a lot of it is because it's hard for them to buy their own home, like just mom and dad and the
Yes.
kids only, they want to buy a house for just them, they don't like live with grandma or tutu, they want to live in their own home and just have their, and it's hard, it's so expensive, gas, food, all that kind of stuff. And I feel for them because for me, like I didn't really have to deal with that after I left, because obviously I wasn't there. And I think, as much as they don't want to leave, they're trying to find that better opportunity for themselves, for their keiki, and being able to afford that in Hawaii, everybody got to work. Who's gonna take care of or the keiki at home? If mom and
Ah,
dad got to get two jobs each just so they can buy a home for their ohana, then that means the kids got to take care of themselves. And the makua, they not like do that. I mean, I've been blessed to where I don't need to go to work. I can stay home. That's my job. Stay home, take care of the kids, school, field trips, anything, sports, making sure the dogs go to the vet, making sure our bills get paid, keeping the house. I'm lucky in that way that my keiki have a makua at home, because we don't live in Hawaii. But because of our military situation, with us going back home, we can still continue that. I still don't have to go to work because he'll make enough to provide for us. Plus, we already have a home. And our people who are leaving, their story is different. So they have to leave in order to do those kinds of things, which I'm sad about that they have to go and do that. But when I meet those ohana, you know, I just tell them, hey, I know it's not the best, but there's a lot of Hawaiian people out there. You just gotta go out there and find them. They'll find you. They always find me, and
yeah.
you just make the connections. You'll find ohana out there. They may not be ohana when you meet them, but like us, we find the auntie, we find the uncle, and then that's our new kupuna. That's our ohana now.
Yes. That's we're so pili our people,
Mhm.
that when we just see each other, it's like, oh, auntie, uncle,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
sign of respect. That's a sign of
yes.
respect. So, so
I've
my,
we've been in a few stores, and every time Sam's Club doing grocery shopping, and an auntie, boy, you from Hawaii? Here, take auntie's number. Give me your number. I'm gonna call you. We're gonna do something. And that's how we find people.
my ka'i. Yeah, I've been in situations in the mainland where people will see my Hawaiian bracelet,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not even talking. They see my bracelet, so they're like, "Oh, auntie," and then they start
Yeah,
talking. Like we
yeah.
know each other from Hawaii. So yeah, that's so awesome. My ka'i. I'm so glad to hear that you guys are going home. So I'm since we are talking about home, I was wondering if you could share some fond memories that you might have from home, and maybe things that you want your keiki to experience also from your
Yeah.
childhood kind of thing.
Oh, I remember as a kid going camping for the whole summer. Like school pal for the summer, 1 week, and then we go camping all the way till 1 week before school starts again. Like we would go camping all summer. My mom, my dad, my siblings, our cousins. Some cousins would stay a couple weeks, go home, and another set of cousins would come. Aunties and uncles would come. Like, that was the best. Just going back to school. Oh, papa. What you did this summer? Oh, I went to the beach. But camping, that was a lot of family time, like
Nice.
quality time with just being out there in the ocean and having fun and eating and,
In the
seeing
sun, because you
everybody.
don't get in the sun, because you don't get that in Colorado, right?
Oh no, we get a lot of sun here.
Oh.
Yeah, we get a lot of sun here. It's like it's very hot, not hot. It's very dry here.
Oh.
And we're
Okay.
so high up in elevation that the sun is nice, but you cannot stay out in the sun too much because you're gonna burn. Like
Oh,
Western Hawaii, like you
yeah.
burn literally. Like you gotta put what is that? Sunblock on your ear. Because
Oh,
if you don't put sunblock on your ear will turn red.
but then
It's
again, you guys have a lot of snow also, yeah?
yes. Not as much as people think we have, but we do get it every year. Some years are worse than others, but usually the snow only sticks around for a day or two till about a week. And then it starts melting. And then, I mean, here in Colorado, it's cold more than it is warm. But when it is warm, whew, hot.
But now you go home to Hawaii where you got the sun,
Oh,
but you got the humidity too.
yes.
That's why we go
And then
beach, yeah?
yes, and that's why I tell my husband and I tell my kids, we're gonna go home and we're going to sweat a lot. We're gonna feel like we're boiling. But why, Mom? I said, because over there's moisture in the air, so it's humid. You feel icky, sticky. Here, we don't have that humidity. It's so dry and we don't sweat. So when we go home, we're gonna be turning on that water hose a lot. We're gonna be going to the beach a lot because we gotta cool off.
My God, it's so awesome talking to you, Maili. But so we're gonna kind of end here. But before we do end today's session, I wanted to see if you have any specific message that you want to share with my listeners, especially those that is in Hawaii. Anything that you want to share with them?
Yeah, Hawaii is home. Like, if Kanaka feel like they gotta leave because whatever their story is, whether it be financial, economic, educational, the military, whatever it is, no matter where you go, Hawaii goes with you. It's in your heart. You take it with you, and when you go, share that aloha that we have inside of us needs to be shared with the world. The more you share it and the more you bring people in and show them, this is what Hawaii is. This, what you see on the TV, that's what you see on that's different. This is what Hawaii is. So if you go, but take it with you and share it with everybody you meet.
That is an awesome message. Thank you so much, Maili, for giving me your time to share your journey and for letting my listeners hear, how a Kanaka living abroad can actually do what they do and still be able to come back home, share the aloha. I just love that message that you have. Share that aloha with the world. So mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Yeah, mahalo for having me. I mean, the only way we're gonna learn is if we share.
Yes, we can do that. So
yeah.
Mahalo, Maili.
Mahalo.
And to my listeners out there, thank you so much for joining me today here on Hawaii Abroad. Hope to see you next time as I speak to more Hawaiians living abroad. This is Auntie Max signing out. Aloha.